This is Jahangir from My Property Portal. I am one of the business development officers at My Property Portal. In this video, I am going to discuss how can you sign up for the online payment processing in My Property Portal. Today, our topics are how can you sign up, what documents do you need, and what happens or what do you need to do after your application is approved by our payment processing vendor. So let's go to the portal and see the process. So So for payment processing in My Property Portal is an optional service. So you don't have to use it if you don't want to. But if you would like to use the payment processing, then you need to apply for a merchant ID. So we are partnered with Bambura. They are a Vancouver-based company, and you can collect money through EFT or credit card or MasterCard. You can also pay your vendors or owners through our system. To apply for online payment processing, you have to apply for a merchant account. And to apply for a merchant account, you have to go to Settings, Online Payment Settings. And this page explains what you need to do for subscribe for an online payment processing. Okay, I highly recommend that you go through this and read this information. Okay, and once you are ready, then you can click on the setup merchant account for online payment. If you click on it, then it gives you instruction what needs to be done. So to apply for a merchant account, so there are two types of processing. You can collect money through EFT or you can collect money through credit card. So credit card includes credit card, which is a Visa and MasterCard. To collect money through EFT, which is the bank-to-bank transfer, you have to download this form, fill it out, and provide these pieces of information to us, and then we will introduce you to our account manager at Bambura. And this information is necessary even though you have a brand new business, right? You are the new in the business. You still need to provide at least 1 month of bank statement to be eligible for EFT payment processing. Okay, and pre-authorized form is an optional form, so which you don't have to, but you definitely need to provide your proof of identity and at least 1 month of bank statement. Okay, and you have to download this form and fill it out properly. Make sure that you understand what each section is it's talking about, and you understand that what you are signing up for. So we'll go through this application form in a second, but let's cover the overall process. Now that's for EFT, this is the process that you have to follow. But for online credit payment, you can submit an online application form, and then it's much easier that way, right? For EFT, Bambura, it's working on an online application form as well, as far as last communication that we got. But as of now, this is a manual process to sign up. So once you have provided the application for EFT, or if you have submitted the application for online credit card, it takes about maximum of 3 business days to be either approved or rejected. So we haven't got any rejected file or case yet. So hopefully, everything goes smooth. But if they need more information or they need to clarify more information, definitely our account manager will be reaching out to you and will ask for more information. But You definitely, for EFT, you must go through us, and because we need to make sure that this information that you have submitted, you have all the information that you needed, right? So you don't want to submit anything half done, then it will just, delay the process. So once the application is approved, so what happens is Bambora will provide a merchant ID via email to us and also to you. So merchant ID is kind of a code. It's an alphanumeric code that will be sent to us. You don't have to do anything. Once we get that information, we just simply link that merchant ID to your profile from our backend system, right? And once that is done, that's all you need. I mean, you will be able to collect money from your tenant, and you'll be able to pay your vendors or owners through our portal. And there is another section. It's just a questionnaire. We get this question pretty often. Can I pay to vendors? The answer is yes. You can pay your vendors and sorry, you can pay your vendors and owners through the system, but it's only EFT. You cannot use credit card to pay your vendors or owners at this moment. However, you can collect money from your tenants through EFT and credit card. Okay, so that's the overall process on how to apply and how to be approved and what to do after you get your application is approved. So there is one more piece of thing that you need to do. This is you have to do is that once the application is approved, then you have to come back to this merchant account for property manager tab. Click on that, and then make sure that you select these options carefully. Okay. So what does this do is this, like, it gives you an option to set up, like, who is going to pay the processing fee for each transaction. As you can see on the right side, we are saying for each EFT, there is a 50 cents transaction fee. So if the rent is $1,000, right? There's a and every month you'll be charged 50 cents for that transaction if this option is selected, property manager 100%. But if you say no, I would like to pass it on to the tenant, then you select this option, which is the tenant 100%. At that case, what will happen if the rent is $1,000? The actual amount the tenant will pay will be 1,050 cents, which will be deposited to your bank account. Okay, so the tenant will see that service fee in their invoice, right? And that 50 cents, which is basically you are collecting from the tenant as a processing fee, we will charge you back at the middle of each month for all the transaction fee that you have, that's been accumulated for your account. So the purpose of doing that is that so that your bank account matches with the invoice amount that you are generating for the tenant or anybody else, right? So now for that 50 cents, you also have the option to generate a separate transaction amount for that. So as you can see here, should account transactions be added when receiving processing fee? So if you are paying that transaction fee, then you know that you are paying the transaction fee. But if you are collecting this transaction fee from the tenant, right? You also want to know, like, how much transaction fee you have collected so far from all the tenants, or how much you are basically either paying to us, right, at the end of or middle of the month. Then if you choose this option, yes, then system will generate a separate transaction for this processing fee. Now, we're talking about 50 cents is because you're only talking considering EFT at this moment. But if you you have the same option for credit card. So you can pass it on the credit processing fee of the credit card processing credit card processing amount to the tenant, which is 100%, right? And that means if the rent is $1,000, then tenant will be paying $1,000 27 $27.50 plus 20 cents, which is $27.70 plus $1,000 in total as the rent, right? So 27.70 is the processing fee and $1,000 is the actual rent. So separate transaction will be created for 27.70 and $1,000 is comes from the invoice amount. Okay, so recipients, uh, should notification be sent for successful payment? If you say yes, and it asks who will receive that notification. So in this case, you can define multiple email addresses. Should notification be sent for failed payments? If again, same concept. Um, should tenant be notified regarding the failed payment? By default, it's yes. And if you choose no, because obviously they will not receive notification, but I highly recommend that you choose yes on this so that they know right away that if there's a failed payment. Now, would you like to add transaction under undeposited funds account while the payment is in processing? So what does this do? So EFT processing takes 3 business days. So for example, if you submit online payment for the first of the month, right? So or let's put it this way. Let's say the rent due date is first of the month. We submit the processing of the rent on 31st of the month night. So technically, the withdrawal will happen on the first of the month, which is the lease payment date, that rent payment date, and money will be deposited in your account on the third of the month. Now, this is considering based on that there is no holiday, there is no stat holidays, or there's no weekends as well, right? So it's straight. Consider that first of the month is Monday. By Wednesday, your money will the money will be on your in your bank account, physical bank account. Okay. Now, what if the the first of the month is Friday? So if the first of the month is Friday, the basically in between the weekend will be added with the day calculation. So you're supposed to get money on the, in this case, if the first day of the month is Friday, then you'll be receiving money on Monday and Tuesday, or Tuesday, because there are 2 days weekend in the middle, right? So that's the calculation. So if you have a state holiday, then you just add up that extra day in between. So the bottom line is the processing time is 3 business days. Okay. Now, um, what invoice should you consider for auto payment? Now, auto payment is for when, like, the tenant is signed up for recurring monthly payment, so that they kind of give you consent to take out the money every first of the month or whatever the lease the rent due date, right? If they signed up for it, then you have 2 options. So you can say that nope, only withdraw the rental amounts for from this tenant or from my tenants, or you can say that no, all the invoices, process all the invoices on the same day. So scenario is that first of the month, system generated a rental invoice, and first of the month, for there is another invoice that's due or first of the month, right? So if you choose the first option, system will calculate invoice 1, which is the rental amount, and invoice 2, which is a non-rental amount, and it will combine it to one payment, and it will process both invoices. But however, in this case, there will be only one charge. There'll 50-cent charge, but it will process the both invoices together. Okay, that's the uh, difference between this and this option. Okay, and you can also put a note about, like, about this setup, so that someone looking into this, they know why you have set a specific action, whatnot. um, I think I have skipped this option. So would you like to add transaction under undeposited fund? So basically, what does it mean? So when you start processing the withdrawal, that you are processing an EFT, right? So there is a uh, holdover period of 2 to 3 days, right? In between this time, so when you draw the money, the status of the invoice becomes processing, right? So processing means you did not get the money yet in your bank account, right? It's in the process. So at that time, if you choose this option, then system will put that money in an undeposited funds. There is a chart of accounts for that, and the money will stay in this chart of account, in this bucket. So when the payment is actually came to your bank account, then the money will be removed from undeposited fund to your actual bank account. So that's the meaning of this option. Okay. So this is a very important setup. Once your merchant account is approved, you have to do this. So actually, there is no hard rule that you have to do it uh, after the merchant account is approved. You can do it at any time, right? The explanation of the other two is that we also allow you to collect money for each by property basis. So for example, you have clients with a 100 or 500 units property, or units property, right? So there's one property, but that has like 500 units, right? So this owner wants to collect money in his own bank account, right? So in that case, we also allow you to do that. The setup is pretty much the same, right? So you select the property, right? And then you get the same setup. But the difference is, with your subscription, we only allow give you one free account, uh, which is covered within your subscription. But if you try to collect money for each individually for each property, then the there is an additional cost to it, right? So there is an additional monthly fee that comes for to maintain this processing of all the payment and managing the account. Now this is coming from straight from Bambura, the payment processing vendor. So they charge you additional $15 per month to maintain that account. Now again, we are covering one um, one fee, one monthly fee. But if you want to add, like, multiple merchant account, you can do so, but there will be a fee. This transaction fee doesn't change, but then your merchant will be charged, for this amount. Okay. We also have the option to um, collect money by owners. So if one owner has maybe 20 buildings and he decided to collect money in his, for money into his bank account for all of his property, you can do that too. Same thing as the individual property. In this case, you'll be processing through for individual owner, right? So all of the money for each property for this owner will be deposited to his bank account. Same principle applies. There will be an setup fee and there is a monthly fee as well. Okay. So let's talk about the application form. Sorry. So let's download that. And so this is application form that you'll be filling out for EFT. So we are the merchant account here. Then you'll be the sub-merchant of us, right? And you provide your company information, your type of business, estimated annual sales. Obviously, these things you know. Uh, then owner information, and then it's a monthly batch, and maximum batch amount is like, let's say you have 100 uh, tenants, right? And each rent is, let's say, $1,000 in average, right? So that means if you are processing $100,000 at the beginning of the month, right? On that day, your batch amount should be at least 100,000, right? So that's your maximum batch amount, right? If you say my rent collection is supposed to be 100,000, but your batch amount is 50,000 in this case, then our system will submit 50,000, the top 50,000 with that batch amount. So this is very important that you make sure that you do the math and put the right amount in here. Okay, so batch frequency, we submit one batch a day, right? And so that's pretty much like one in this case. And average batch amount. So average batch amount, I will put pretty much the same amount as the batch amount, because at the beginning of the month, if it is 100,000 that you are going to collect, right? And your batch average batch amount is, let's say, 30,000, because you're not doing anything throughout the month, then it doesn't mean it will not process the amount, like, desired amount. So I will put the same amount in here as well. And then the rest of the information is pretty straightforward. As you can see, this is a very simple form. All you have to do is provide your personal information, and then provide the batch amount, which is the very important piece. And then you submit to us, right? If there is any question, then we'll get back to you. Or if there's any questions from the Bambora site, they'll either call you directly, or um, they will kind of reach out to us, then we'll call you back. Okay, so if you have any questions about Bambura and any of this, then you can also send them an email to applications at North America Bambura, or you can directly call them at this number, 833-226-2672. Okay, so that's about this how to set up for the online payment processing vendor, right? So online payment processing. So just to recap, um, you have to apply for a merchant ID. Once it is approved, we get a code. We integrate that for you, and in the meantime, you can set up your profile information, right? And once you do that, your account is active, and you should be able to set up the bank account for your owners, vendors, and for your tenants. And your tenants would be able to also set up their bank information. That's all pretty much about the online payment processing. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. And if you have any questions about how can you improve the process, please do let us know. And we are always here to help. And if you have any questions, please send us an email at help@mypropertyportal.com. Thank you and have a nice day.